Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're once again going to talk about several leaks that I've managed to find and that I think are quite interesting to discuss. As usual, this information comes from sources that are considered fairly credible. But before we get into the discussion, running out of stellar jade and Honkai starrail? Don't worry, there's a more budget-friendly solution. Now you can top up in-game safely, quickly, and at a lower price through U7 Buy. And it's not just Honkai starrail, other games are available too, all in one place. Still not sure? No problem. You can check U7 Buy's reviews directly on Trustpilot, so it's transparent and trustworthy. For comparison, 80 oniric shards cost around $100 in the official store, but on U7 Buy, it's much cheaper. The process is also instant. Just select your server, enter your UID, and the balance is delivered straight to your account, no hassle. Don't forget to use code BOOM for a 5% discount. Click the link in my description or pinned comment to visit U7 Buy. Alright, now let's move on to the main topic. In this video, we're going to discuss some new information that could be considered quite surprising and a bit different from what we usually cover. Previously, we talked about the possibility of older characters receiving buffs through the 4th Nova Flare. If you feel like you missed that discussion or want a more complete understanding, I highly recommend watching that video first. And in this video, we'll be discussing something that's fairly surprising and slightly outside our usual scope. If in previous discussions we focused on Honkai starrail patch 4.x, this time we're going to talk about something much further ahead, patch 5.x. Yes, this is quite surprising, considering we are still in the early phase of patch 4.x. However, it turns out that some information about patch 5.x has already started to surface. This naturally raises a lot of curiosity within the community. As always, all of this information comes from fairly credible sources. So, let's get straight into it. For this discussion, our main source will be Uncle Lottie via Galaxy Leaks. For those of you who have been following previous discussions, the name Uncle Lottie should already be familiar, since he was also the source when we talked about Blade SP, who is rumored to be a universal support character. Interestingly, the information shared by Uncle Lottie regarding Blade SP aligns quite well with other sources such as Anon Leaks and Luna, which increases the credibility of what he shares. So overall, his information is definitely worth paying attention to. Uncle Lottie originally shared his information in video form on the Bilibili platform, which was then summarized and reposted by Galaxy Leaks in text format as usual. In that post, there are several key points that are quite interesting to discuss. First, according to Uncle Lottie, in patch 5.x we will get 2 new SP characters. If in patch 4.x we saw characters like Silverwolf and Blade receiving SP variants, then in patch 5.x, the characters expected to receive those variants are Kafka and ACHERON. This is obviously very interesting information, considering that both of these characters are extremely popular and play important roles in the story. If this turns out to be true, it would be huge news, especially for ACHERON and Kafka mains. In addition, in the same post, Uncle Lottie also shared information about a new world that may become our destination in patch 5.x, a place called Patrevia. The question is, what kind of world is Patrevia? Is it truly a completely new place that we've never heard of before? Or has it actually been mentioned previously in Honkai starrail's lore? If we look into information from the Honkai starrail wiki, Patrevia is actually not an entirely unfamiliar name. It is described as a massive asteroid belt that has been turned into glass due to destruction caused by Lord Ravager Zephyro. Furthermore, in more recent developments, Patrevia is also known to be one of the locations where a branch of the Morning Actors troupe resides. Going even further, Patrevia has actually appeared and been mentioned in the video Myriad Celestia Exotale Scene 8. In that video, there is an alternative scenario that shows what would happen if we didn't follow Black Swan's suggestion to go to Amphireus first. If we were to head directly to Patrevia, we would immediately face Zephyro, one of the strongest enemies from the Antimatter Legion, who is even acknowledged by the Stellaron hunters. In that situation, our strength would not be sufficient, and the entire Astral Express crew along with the morning actors would be completely destroyed. However, despite all of that, Galaxy Leaks also mentioned that some of this might just be his theory, and some might be a leak. So yes, that's all the information from Uncle Latte that was reposted by Galaxy Leaks. And of course, all of this raises several questions. Why would ACHERON and Kafka end up getting SP variants? And is it really true that the next world we will visit is Patrevia? Out of curiosity, I ended up watching Uncle Latte's full video. In that video, there was a fairly interesting speculation from him that attempts to answer those questions. Alright, this is my understanding based on his explanation, and since the video is fully in Chinese, please understand if there are any misinterpretations. According to Uncle Latte, during Honkai starrail's 3rd anniversary, which corresponds to the current version, version 4.2, Hoyoverse may have already teased the new map for version 5.0, as well as SP versions of Kafka and ACHERON. First, from the text included in the 4th anniversary cake. There, we can see that Kafka directly promises the player in the birthday letter that she will meet us again in the next major version, even saying that she will personally wish us a happy birthday. This could be a hint that Kafka will play a major role again in patch 5.x. Then, when we read ACHERON's anniversary mail, we learn that she is currently on a ship belonging to the morning actors, sailing through a world filled with blood-red fog and ash. From this description, it's not difficult to guess that she is in the well-known base of the morning actors, Patrevia. As explained earlier, in Myriad Celestia, the Astral Express crew is destroyed by Zephyro when they are in Patrevia. However, this time there is a difference. Due to the butterfly effect of our journey over the past year in Amphireus, Zephyro's arrival to Patrevia is indirectly delayed. That is why, in the 3rd anniversary mail, ACHERON casually mentions that Patrevia is now a good place to write letters. And now, with one of our strongest allies, ACHERON, arriving before Zephyro, Elio would obviously not miss this rare opportunity that might allow the Astral Express crew to defeat him. At that point, we might witness a major clash between the Antimatter Legion and Nihility, with ACHERON, an emanator who has long opposed Nihility, standing at the center of it all. And yes, those are some of the points, or perhaps teases, from Hoyoverse that led Uncle Latte to his speculation. But as Galaxy Leaks mentioned, some of this could just be theory, and some could be actual leaks. So in the end, this information can be hit or miss, which is why you shouldn't fully believe it just yet. Especially since this concerns patch 5.x, which is still very far from the current version. There's still a lot that could change before we actually get there. Alright, with that, we've reached the end of today's discussion. Thank you so much for your time and attention for watching this video until the end. I'm really looking forward to your opinions, analyses, and perspectives. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section, because your discussions will definitely make this topic even more engaging and interesting. Don't forget to share this video with your fellow Honkai starrail players so they don't miss out on the latest information. Your support through likes and subscriptions means a lot for the growth of this channel, so we can continue delivering informative content in the future. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next discussion.